But you don't know this virus. It's new, it's different. It mutates and goes in different directions with a different strain of itself. So whether I'm present or absent, the Executive Council of the Nation of Islam must call our scientists. Come and let's sit down. Our virologists, our epidemiologists, those of us who know the science. We cannot let them bring anything to us that we don't dissect.
And we're still not letting them bring anything to us that we are not willing to dissect.
Come on, Brother Lau. That's what I'm talking about.
I tell you, that message from the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan is always on time. Stay alert, family. Just a little quick warning out there. Stay alert. I know y'all thinking,
stay woke.
Everything is good. Stay right. Keep your focus, right? Keep your eye on fire. And another thing that's out there too, because it can make a comeback.
Stay extra woke.
Praise be to Allah. Excited show tonight. I know, Sis Cleveland, I know they're looking for the hostess or the mostest. Right. She will be with us shortly. All right. She will be with us, but I don't know how many of you saw the advertisement for tonight's program. But I just want to tell you before we even get started, we always say la-di-da to get everybody, but everybody you know that wants to be successful in business, everyone you know that wants to go into business or learn something about business, this one right here, they need to be on this one right here.
There should be all of us. All of us.
That's right. That's right. That's right.
And so, you know, while we're waiting, we'll just step in here real quick. My name is Brother Lyle Muhammad. Just stepping in real quick for the hostess or the mostest who you hear shortly. Welcome to Thursday Night Talk with the 7th Region Coalition and family. We got a powerful, powerful program that we're going to be talking about this evening. So we do mean go get your peoples, because you all know you do it every week. You get all excited. You get caught up into what's being shared and what's going on. And then you go try to get somebody and then you miss something.
Right.
Go get
Absolutely.
them, like, share, make sure you let people know what's going on. And while you're doing that, we'll just go ahead and introduce ourselves. Again, assalamu alaikum to my Muslim brothers and sisters. Praise the Lord to my Christian brothers and sisters. Gawa Black Power to my Black revolutionaries, and to all you beautiful peace and freedom loving people across the land. Peace and blessings. And we welcome you once again to Thursday Night Talk with the 7th Region Coalition. Dealing with some business. But I will say this. You think of 7th Region Coalition. Think about a people, because the waters are treacherous and filled with sharks and people who don't mean us so well. But can you imagine if there's a guiding light and you can look to that guiding, like a lighthouse, and that guiding light can help us as a beautiful people get safely to shore, because there's some treacherous stuff going on out there right now. And tonight's show is all about your business. And I'm telling you, family, you're going to want to take notes. You're going to want to be informed and inspired. That I know you will. So we might as well keep these introductions moving right along. I will go ahead down to my beloved sister who's in Jacksonville holding it down. Assalamu alaikum, sister. Get the baton, sister.
I'm getting it.
All right. There we go.
Listen, in the most holy name of Allah, always bearing witness that there's no God but He, and I bear witness that Muhammad is His last messenger. And so I would like to greet all of you in the greeting words of peace in the Arabic language of Assalamu alaikum. I know, let me tell you, I know every week I say this is a special this is a special show, right?
Every week
all of
it.
Every week.
Right.
Every week is special.
Right. I absolutely agree, Brother Tony, right? But this one right here, this one right here, I can't say how many this ones right here,
So
because
look,
you want to always tell people, oh, well, I have a degree. My degree is in business, right?
Uh-oh.
So this is why this show is very important to me because even though you know how a lot of people mind as they grow into themselves, they're just natural business people, right? You just a leader by nature. You just know how to do business. But when you start applying the teachings that you get from not only the universities, but as well as the Nation of Islam on how to do business.
I'm talking kind of business that people not used to seeing black folk do. Oh, I'm not gonna say nothing.
Right. But this brother here, who we gonna bring to the table, he gonna teach us everything. When I say absolutely everything on how to do it the right way at the right time. Sister, you've been jogging, my sister.
Right, keep it.
Why are you putting her out there like that?
Hey,
Listen,
look, you
family,
still look good.
I had a rough day. I'm so sorry.
You still a hostess with the mostest. Don't worry about it. You still a hostess with the mostest.
Listen, Thursday night talks. I'm just telling you, it's Thursday night shenanigan for me. It was one of those woosah moments. I got caught up. I was like, I just need a break. But either way, thank you, fam. Thank you, Sister Kalila, for holding it down. Yes, I got my gear on. I'm sorry.
All right.
But listen, we
Don't
got
be
to do
sorry
what we
for
got
staying
to
in
do,
shape.
right?
That's right.
All right.
I'm trying. But listen, like Sister Kalila said, we got a special guest. Dom, I mean, he's out of Miami. He's one of the 7th region. He's part of.
Here
He's
we
still
go
part
again.
of the
That 7th region, I tell you.
That's it.
Ooh.
We do, 7th region do it. We do big things. We big. We little, but we do big things. Okay. But just welcome in the audience. I know that they've already welcomed you in, but again, I'm just gonna say like, share.
Do that right now. Get your
Okay.
peoples.
Just right now, just stop what you're doing. Go grab your auntie, your cousin, your niece, your nephew, your daughter, your son, whomever you need to join in, because this is one that's going to be a good one. Because I don't know about you, but this is a particular time where we really need to understand how to do for self.
There
Right.
go them
Right.
3 words. Ooh, them 3 words. You're going to hear them
Right.
3 words. Do for self.
That's right.
This brother has been able to do it. We'll go into it. We'll do all the introductions. And it's so very important. And I can't stress it enough. I know we're all striving and we'll all get there. But, in the meantime, while we're doing that, this brother's going to allow us to be able to do just that, or at least tell us his journey. And then we can kind of follow along with him to get to where he is. I want to be like him when I grow up.
Right.
That's just how it is.
Sister Michelle, our folk haven't brother Anthony. We let them know our brothers with us too.
All right.
Is it
Now, all right
Is it-
now. That's right.
is it me, Brother Lyle? I think you were breaking up.
I was
Is it
talking
me?
about you. You didn't hear me talking about you? We got to introduce Brother Tony. That's what I said. We got to bring
Did
Brother
everybody
Tony
hear-
into the equation here.
I want
You
to
hear
make
me
sure
now?
that it's not on my end. Did he
Can you
break
hear me
up?
now? How about now? We good?
You good now?
All right.
We good? All right.
I heard Brother Antonio, and then look,
It's
he's
the-
going
it's the
back into the
internet,
matrix.
Yes.
Okay, yo, go, Brother Tony. Let's hit it.
I-
Let's go, Brother
All
Tony.
right, with no further ado, peace and
Let's
hotep,
go.
shalom, abaragani, buenos dias, buenas noches, sakpase, assalamu alaikum,
That's right.
peace and blessings to everyone tuning in. Of course, in the name of the one God who bears many names, some know him as Jah, others know him as Jehovah, some know him as Dios, some know him as Alobdumare, some know him as the great wind of the great spirit. I bear witness to his oneness, who came in the person of Master Fard Muhammad. I am forever thankful to Allah for the most honorable Elijah Muhammad and the honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan. Once again, assalamu alaikum. And as it was uttered
Salam.
earlier, this is a very special show because, and I'm going to quote Napoleon Hill when he said that a man does not get into his business peak until his 40s. But when we hear this brother here tonight, if you apply the methodology that he's going to be speaking on, you don't have to wait till your 40s if you're under 40 tuning into this. If you're in your
Please
40s, tune in anyway. Tune in, take notes, because he's going to teach
40
you
plus,
how to become successful in business. I'm sorry, Sister Michelle?
40 plus. Don't forget the
Hey, we
plus.
are the 40 plus club here. We're the 40 club.
Right.
Yeah. 4 times.
And all you out, if you ain't counting billions yet, you better tune into the show tonight.
That's right.
Got something for
Come on.
everybody.
That's right.
Come on, y'all.
And so with that, it's a pleasure and honor serving you, our people, tuning in. As how does this correspond to help saving lives? That's a big question. See, if we don't do for self, we're truly out of luck. Just take a look at how things are going right now with inflation. The state of inflation, gas prices are up. You know, it doesn't look like things are getting any better in those on that level. So right now we have to become strategic on learning how to do for ourselves, start up a business for our own, start up 2 or 3 businesses of our own, maybe side businesses. What can we do right now to become more successful? And we're going to be learning about that through the business ethics that this very beautiful brother who will be speaking with us, he'll be sharing with us in just a few minutes.
You know, Brother Tony, I was listening to you ask that powerful question. What does this have to do with life?
Come on.
And I want us all to realize right now, you are either a consumer or you are a producer. And if you are a consumer, you consuming everybody else's stuff and not producing your own. And if you're a producer, are you producing enough? So we all need this life-saving information this evening.
That's right.
And you know what? I just couldn't think of a better way to open up the topic than to hear from a brother who teaches from his teacher that business is warfare.
What teacher is that, Brother Lyle?
I'm talking about the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan.
Come on.
So before we bring on our brother, and I do want to tease this a little bit, right?
Come on.
Our brother, I'm not going to tell him.
Don't tell him everything.
He has the type of business that you probably didn't even know a black man had. I ain't
gonna
say what it is. I'm not going to tell you what it is, right? Right?
Less than 10%, Brother Lyle.
How about that? Less than 10%, right? And look, let's just be real. Failing black businesses right now at an all-time high. We lost 40% of black restaurants just during the pandemic.
Wow.
And 20% of entrepreneurs that look like you and me, they automatically fail their first time out. So gird up your business loins. But what a beautiful word. If I could, family, just allow the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan, because, you know, we talk about business. And as we talk about business, we always want to make sure, why am I going on to share? Oh, there we are here, family. And he gives us a great foundation and to think about something that we all probably think about from time to time. But here's a couple of minutes from the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan talking about business as warfare.
Come on, Brother Lyle.
Woo. Just hold for this one brief second. It's coming.
Now he got to go home to his family and shortchange his wife. Children need shoes. Wife needs something. But you've given the money for your family to somebody else for a moment of pleasure. Conscience, when you're awakened, tells you, man, I could have some money in my pocket if I didn't have so many outside interests. Now, what has that got to do with business and warfare? See, The activity of life. This is what business is. The first four letters, B-U-S-I. The I is interchangeable with Y, busy. When you're doing nothing, you're not alive. A busy person has to be busy doing something that nature requires. Nature requires every living thing to do something for itself.
Come on.
It may be a worm, but it ain't looking to another one. Hey, you got anything for me? Look how silly you look.
Right.
Big grown man or woman at Tennessee State, working on a degree and then going out begging somebody. You got a job for me? Suppose he told you, no, I ain't got no job for you. What you gonna do then? How are you gonna make a job for yourself? See, if this is what you come to Tennessee for, brother and sister, because he don't have enough jobs for his millions of others. Look out for himself first if you get a shake at all. So college has to prepare you for the reality of life, or these are plantations.
So, family, that's the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan, and just laying that foundation to get those brain cells stimulated and thinking about doing for yourself. And there's a lot of things about business that people talk about, but they don't always walk about. That's why I love the brother we're going to be bringing on tonight. He walking it. Well, he actually riding it. He ain't walking it.
That's
but
right.
That's a whole nother story. Go ahead. Somebody go ahead and bring this brother on. Who's going to read that mighty bio? Because we just brought a giant into your midst, dear family. Let's read the bio now. Family, as you're listening to this bio, I want you to understand here now. Listen carefully. We're talking about our beloved brother right here, Brother Dawood Talib Muhammad. Read that bio, Brother Tony.
Let me see. I have it right here. All right. Dawood Talib Muhammad. Automobile sales entrepreneur Dawood Talib Muhammad was born on April 9th, 1981 in Newark, New Jersey, to Simone and Dawood Muhammad. He graduated from Bailey Ellard Regional Catholic High School in Madison, New Jersey in 1999. Muhammad, a business marketing major, started in the auto industry in 2006 as a salesperson while attending Morehouse College in Atlanta, Georgia. He worked for AutoNation Automotive Group, where he became one of the top sales associates within the company. He was then promoted to finance and insurance manager in 2009 and became the highest ranking used car sales manager in AutoNation's 17-store district. He was then promoted to new car sales director at Savannah Toyota in 2010 and built the #1 new car sales department in percent of objective in Southeast Toyota. After helping Savannah Toyota consistently win Toyota's President's Award, Muhammad began to be recruited by the most successful independent company in the automobile industry, AMSI. In 2013, AMSI, the largest independent automotive group in the industry, offered Muhammad a sales manager position at Southeast Toyota's top 10 dealership, Scott Clark's Toyota City in Charlotte, North Carolina. Muhammad, extremely motivated by the attractive career path that could lead to a promotion to manager partner of one of AMSI's dealerships, made an instant impact at Scott Clark's Toyota City and was promoted to general sales manager at AMSI's Scott Clark's Nissan after only 4 months of employment with the company. Muhammad made an instant impact in his first general sales manager opportunity, leading his team to become the #1 Nissan store in North Carolina, inspiring his team to increase sales from 125 cars to 275 cars within a 12-month period, earned him a promotion to the executive manager at AMSI's new Open Point Monroe Nissan. Muhammad was credited with building the team that made Monroe Nissan the #1 dealership in the district in CSI, in sales efficiency, and #3 in profitability, although it was an open point and it was his first executive manager opportunity. In just 2 years and 8 months as executive manager at Monroe Nissan, Muhammad had earned the Nissan Award of Excellence, had created a Monroe Nissan brand that boasted the highest Google revenue rating of any other Nissan store in North Carolina, and had won a loyal and satisfied client base. This performance awarded him the ownership opportunity as the managing partner at West Palm Beach Nissan. Muhammad had risen from the newest sales manager in the company to managing partner within a short 4 years. Muhammad's ambition wouldn't allow him to settle as a managing partner.
Come on.
And he began to envision himself as the dealer principal of his own automotive group. In 3 years as the managing partner of West Palm Beach Nissan, Muhammad improved the brand by implementing a vibe of gratitude and enthusiasm, sold the most new cars that the dealership had ever accomplished, sold the most cars in a single month, and made the most profit in a single month since AMSI. There might be
Just go ahead and finish it, brother. We got it, man.
Yeah.
We got the LeBron.
All right,
we got
no,
the
I'm getting
LeBron
excited
James
just
car
reading this.
sales on the line, brother. Come on.
Muhammad is known for building a culture that improved the lives of the employees and their families, and for impacting the community that West Palm Beach Nissan served. He was, I bear witness to that. He was awarded by the Riviera Beach Mayor's Office for excellence in business and his community involvement. With the knowledge that Muhammad had acquired, he founded Nation Automotive Group to realize his dream of becoming a dealer principal. Dawood Talib Muhammad and his wife, Marie, are looking forward to starting a family who will one day inherit Nation Automotive Group and carry on the Muhammad legacy. That is Brother Dawood Talib Muhammad's
those of y'all that were listening to that
bio.
bio, y'all giving this brother some love. You heard it right. Brother went from a car salesman in college to owning his own dealership. Did somebody miss that part? Brother Dawood, welcome, my dear brother. Y'all give brother some love. Right? We got the LeBron James of car sales on the 7th Region Thursday Night Talk with us tonight.
No, Brother Loud, the GOAT of car salesmen.
That's right. There you
got
go.
to call him the GOAT.
The GOAT.
Did you all hear all of those excellence and how quick it took to get this? And as soon as he got that, he got that. What ambition, what manner of man is this brother here?
Come on.
That's true focus. That's focus.
Y'all go get your peoples if you want to talk a little bit about business tonight. Brother Dawood, welcome, dear brother.
Peace, peace, peace.
All right, there he goes.
So, brother, as we welcome you in tonight, what a fascinating journey we just heard unfold. Now, I got to ask you this question, brother. When you were, was it Morehouse when you were a car salesman working in school? I heard and through the bio.
Yes, sir. So I was at Morehouse I was at Morehouse. I had just finished my classes. My classes were done, and I was graduating in May. So I started like 2 months after my classes were done.
Wow. Did you ever know then that you would be where you are now, brother?
No, believe, but not know, because I wasn't there yet. But I had the belief, but I didn't know yet.
Wow.
You know, I think we should go back a little bit, family, you know, because a man that does work like that, there must have been some people putting some stuff in him when he was a child. You know, brother, you want to talk about growing up and you know what your parents did to instill all this excellence and these business principles in you, brother?
Yes, sir. First of all, in the name of Allah, the beneficent, the most merciful, I bear witness there is no God but Allah, who appeared in the person of Master Fard Muhammad. I further bear witness that the most humble Elijah Muhammad is the exalted Christ, that the honorable Muslim Farrakhan is the Jesus and Messiah in our midst. It's in their names. I'd like to greet the Seventh Region Coalition and all viewers, everyone watching this, in the words of Peace and Paradise of Assalamu alaikum.
Wa alaikum
Walaikum
salam.
salam,
Alaikum
sir.
salam, sir.
Yes, sir. So the question, Brother Lau, you talking about the beginning, like how we got started?
Yeah, I mean, well, even before that, brother, because a brother who had all of those achievements that you had and how quickly you got them and understanding business excellence, what role did your parents play in making such a young man as yourself, besides the obvious?
So my parents met at 13 years old, and they were pregnant with me at 16. They had me when they were 17. So I was born in the Nation of Islam. Neither one of my parents graduated high school. And my dad was doing for self ever since I could remember. So when we were younger, my dad used to sell products. He would take me to New York, and we would get on the PATH train in New Jersey. From New Jersey, we would catch the train to New York, and my dad would go. We get off on 33rd Street, and he would go and buy products wholesale. And then he would take those products. He had a big duffel bag. I still remember it was this big black duffel bag. And he had that duffel bag, and he would take those products, wake up early in the morning. Sometimes before I woke up, my dad was gone. And he would just go hustle. He would just go sell these hats, these T-shirts, these socks. And he had a rule that he just wouldn't come home if he didn't make $400 in sales. So if he did it at 2 o'clock, he'd come home at 2 o'clock. If he did it at 9 o'clock, he'd come home at 9 o'clock. And my mom would have, you know, the house cleaned and food, a hot plate waiting for him when he got home. But the deal was, come home after you made 400 in sales. And he did that for years. So for like when I was young, you know, for years it was my dad, you know, as an entrepreneur, and my mother, you know, supporting my dad. And there was never like, hey, get a real job. Like that type of language just wasn't going on in the household. It was like, that's all I knew. My dad was an entrepreneur, and he was hustling and he was selling, and he would take me to New York with him sometimes, and I could learn sales. And my first job was him fronting me my first dozen of hats. And we lived in an apartment building at the time, and I would go door to door selling my hats. And when I first sold my first dozen of hats, it was without my dad. Like my dad wasn't present, so I could go in the building, and I was knocking on the neighbors' doors, and I would sell hats. So when I got that first satisfaction of being productive,
right,
I think that it never went away. Like just that feeling, like I went and made my own money. So that foundation, then I was at like 6 years old. I mean, I'm super young. This is like 6 years old when I was doing that. So that was like a game changer for me. And then another business that we had after that was my mom and I. No. Actually, maybe around the same time. Anybody remember Game Boy, Nintendo Game Boy?
of course.
Yes.
Why you trying to tell on our age on here,
Of
brother?
course.
You remember Nintendo Game Boy.
I had a Nintendo Game Boy when I was younger, and during lunchtime at the lunch table, I would sell plays. So like you would have, like I would sell a game, like if you want to play, I'll charge you like 25 cents, 50 cents. And I would just, after you play it, I'll be passing it along, and I would be selling the Game Boy plays, and then eventually the school shut down my little enterprise. But
Shut you down, brother.
I wasn't in trouble. Like, my parents weren't like, bad job. It was just like pretty creative. So like I was selling the Game Boy games at like super young. This is in like every lunchtime. Everybody knew they was gonna be paying me 25 cents, 50 cents, and 25, 50 cents in the 80s. That was a good little deal.
That's
You probably had your own little arcade going on there at the table, brother.
I was making my little money third, fourth grade, and then after that we had so we grew up in this apartment building. So I grew up it wasn't like a project, but it was an apartment building. So we grew up in an apartment building, and there was these Indians within walking distance who owned like a wholesale place. So we could go get like turkey dogs and mustard and potato chips and drinks, juices, and all this type of stuff. My mother and I, we would go get it wholesale.
Oh.
And there was a Chinese store, but the Chinese store wasn't selling like chicken and rice and nothing like that. It was like a convenience store, but it was owned by a Chinese man. So you could go get your potato chips and your juices and all of that from there. And then within walking distance, there was a bodega. But from a location standpoint, our building was closer than walking to the bodega or walking to the Chinese store. So our store inside of the building, we would get business. So my friends, like when I'm out playing with my friends, if we're thirsty, we're going to my house.
Right.
So we would knock on the door. My mom had a little set up. We would sell them the chips. We would sell them turkey dogs with mustard and drinks. So we had a little store within the building. So these are like three business opportunities that I'm seeing at like a super young age. Then when I go to the barbershop, it's owned by a black man, the barbershop, black owned barbershop. So then, you go to all of these little spots, you have the restaurants, you got the bakery. So I was like in that environment, even though I was like in Newark, New Jersey, it was a hood environment, but it was so much entrepreneurship and it was like normal. You know what I'm saying? So that type of environment, when my parents was talking about do for self, well, I could walk down the street and see it. So it was so real because right today we're fighting optics. We're fighting a lot of what appears to be.
Right.
So back then, if you said do for self, okay, cool. My uncle's doing for self. My aunt's doing for self. When I go to the barbershop, it's somebody doing for self. When we go to the restaurant, it's someone doing for self. So it's like it was a community of entrepreneurship at some level. So I was always inspired to do that. You know what I'm saying? So that's what I would say, like just from a young age.
Wow.
Brother Dawood,
how I got started in business and what made me
in that light, my brother. I just have a question. Would you call it a nurturing environment for you?
Absolutely. Absolutely.
All that business
nurturing environment.
I say parents got to give a parent shout out right now. Here is a perfect example in front of you, parents, of what happens when you put your child in a right environment.
Right.
And he was always being fed, always being groomed to be the GOAT, the black goat of car sales that's in our midst right now today, family.
And just to add to that, Brother Lau, I'm pretty sure Brother Dawood not only saw, entrepreneurs, doing their business, the right way, but I'm pretty sure he also saw things the wrong way as well, but he chose the right way to do business. So we have to be mindful that it also takes a strong will to do things the right way. So I just want to also let you know that he saw something, he took the opportunity and he pursued it because, again, he had the right guidance, right? He had the right spirit, and then he had the right motivation to all do right. You
said something, though. See, you said they had to be doing it right, because I know a lot of young people that get discouraged.
Right.
They get used to having to sell and do those things, and they get discouraged. But this brother right here, So, Daoud, why don't you take us through your journey of when you actually realized that, you know what? I don't just have to be a car salesman. I could own my own dealership. What was that epiphany like for you?
I think I think that was implanted in it like at a young age too, because there's this desire to be like in control of your destiny.
Mm.
And when I was working in the car dealership, I was competitive and I wanted to be number one. But I was in a jam when I first got into the car business. You know, I was in a really, really tough space. I was living with my parents. I had just graduated from Morehouse. I just finished all my classes at Morehouse. I was living with my parents. I had bad credit because I had messed up my credit in college.
That's what college is for, messing up your credit.
Getting tricked up. Hey, we'll give you a free T-shirt if you fill
Right.
out this application on college at college. Fill out
Right.
this application in predators on college campus offering us credit that we don't have the financial literacy to even know what to do with it.
Credit card.
So I was
That's right.
trying to be competitive with the way I dressed and trying to keep up with the college students and trying to buy expensive clothes and all of this nonsense, practically just wasting money and blowing my credit. So my credit was bad. I didn't have a car, and I was finished with school. I didn't know what I was going to do. I had no job set up. I had bad grades in college because
No,
I had too
Brother
much
Daoud, I
freedom
just need
to
you to
control.
pause right there for a quick second, because you just struck a nerve on a whole lot of parents. Yeah, go get them. The ones that you got in your house right now that just graduated. The ones you got in your house right now that ain't got no car. The ones you got in your house right now that go get them. They better hear this or they're going to be in your pocket all your life. Go ahead, my brother.
So that's the space that I was in mentally, and I was having a hard time, like really getting my mind right and just kind of like feeling accomplished. Because here it is, I got a college degree in business marketing, and I'm broke, right? And I went to the number one college that they say a black man in America can attend, Morehouse College, and I got nothing. So I'm like, I'm in a jam mentally, trying to get myself together. And I remember my dad took me to Krispy Kreme, and we sat down and had a conversation. And he was just telling me that, I'm better than my current position that I'm in. I'm better than that, and I can do better, and I could be better, and I got this. Just trying to encourage me. And he would take me out with him, and he was selling water at the time. So it was real hot in Atlanta, and he was selling bottles of water on the corner. So he would take me out with him for a couple of days, and I'd go sell water with him and make $100 just to have something in my pocket, and just kind of that encouragement, just try to get myself together. And I stumbled upon the car business as an opportunity. So when I got into the car business, I had a motivation, like I had a determination to get out of my current space. But back to the graduating from college and really not having anything, I still had that desire within myself, right? I knew that I was better than my current circumstance, but I still was holding on to my righteousness, the thread that I had left, the little bit that I had to hold on to not go sell drugs or just go do something stupid, right? So I ended up talking to a friend of mine's father who was selling cars at the time, and he was telling me, how he was making money selling cars, and I should go try to get a job in the car business. So I I decided to take his advice, which was to act like you had an interview, put on a suit and just act like you got an interview and go up there.
Right.
So I
Is that
was
what you
like,
did,
"All right, no
brother?"
problem." I got a ride to the interview, put on a suit, got a ride to the interview because I didn't have a car at the time either. So I go up to the interview and I meet a man named Maurice Myrick. I sit down in the interview. I think I'm killing it. Like in my mind, like I'm going to get the job because I came to get the job and I wasn't leaving without the job. So I knew I was going to get the job. So my confidence level was so high because I had no other option. Like I couldn't not get the job, right? So I go, I'm talking to Maurice Myrick. We go through the interview. I know I killed it. I'm ready to get the offer. And he like stands up to greet me and thank me for coming in. And while he's standing up, I'm still seated. And I just look up at him and I say, "What is it about me that makes you think that I can't sell cars?" So he's finished, but I'm not. So he's like, "You know what? You remind me of myself. I'll be right back." So I just sit there patiently. He comes back with a drug test. And he's like, "You know what? I'm gonna give you a chance." So he gives me the drug test. I said, like, "Look, I've never taken any drugs in my life. I know I'm gonna pass it. And when can I start?" He's like, he starts laughing. He's like, "It's a technicality. I'll call you when you clear." So I went home and I was just like ecstatic. I was like, man, I got the job. So they put me in a little training. And then from there, it was just history. It was just history from there. And I went into the car dealership and I was like, by my second or third month, I was like #1 in the store. And as I continued to like climb up in the business, ownership was always, it was always in me, right? So to be an owner, but not to own a car dealership. Because I had to own something, but not a car dealership, because I just didn't see any examples of, a black man owning a car dealership or a black man running a car dealership. I never even heard of, car dealership sales and doing that type of stuff. Like it was never on my radar. But but as I started to grow, then I started to open, more doors started to open based off my performance. And that's when I started thinking, maybe I can own a car dealership. Because you got to think, 1.47% of the 18,000 new car franchises in the United States, only 1.47% is owned by a black person. So you're talking about, 266 dealerships of 18,000 people.
Wow.
So there's a 1.47% chance that I'm gonna see a owner or work for a black owner. There's like a 98-point-something% chance that I'm not.
You know what, Brother Dawood, Sister Kalina, this might be a good chance right now and a good time to increase that percentage by showing folk for the first time in your life a commercial by a black-owned car dealership. You about to see a commercial right now from a brother that you've been listening to on this particular journey, because we want people to be inspired, and we don't want people to think that you got some little, because you know how black folk are sometimes. You got some little rinky dink. No, our brother has a Class A business. Can we check out one of those commercials, Sister Kalina?
Absolutely.
It's coming live.
Neighborhood. Thanks. That's nice. Here you go. I can't even see the new Rogue. Great. Thanks, money. Awesome.
Here, I'll just put that right there.
We're just trying to sweeten the deal.
Meet your new neighbor at Nissan of Hendersonville and get 0% up to 72 months or make no payments for 90 days. What are we going to do with all these?
Have a bake sale.
Experience the all-new Nissan of Hendersonville or visit us online at nissanofhendersonville.com.
Now, family.
Wow.
That's your brother's car dealership. That's your brother's car dealership.
Brother Dawood, I have a question for you, and it may go into a little deeper or maybe not, but there's a thought process. Once you've been in a business, like the type of your business, just walking into it and you learned it and you became very, successful at it. But I want you to tell the audience the thought process when you start to say to yourself, I can do this, I can own this, and I can be successful. What was the steps that because when you're creating a business, there's things that you have to go through. There's things that you have to develop. You have to research. There's things that you have to do to make sure that you have all of the information put together so that when you do go and you're looking for investments or you're looking for help or you're trying to sell the idea to individuals to try to get the additional cash that you need to get the business started, there's a process. Can you talk to the audience a little bit about that?
My process, or just in general?
Maybe just it could be just your process, because everybody goes through it in a different way, but the outcome, right, is the same if we're looking to get enough money to start the business.
Okay, so for me, I'm like a avid I guess supporter in a paid internship. So I think that if I want to own a car dealership, I'm going to work in a car dealership. If I want to own a bakery, I'm working in a bakery. If I want to own a barbershop, I'm working in a barbershop.
Right.
If I want to own my own tax company, I'm going to go work in a tax for a tax company. So for me, I'm because like I want to go get the information, right? So the biggest risk that I think in business is the lack of knowledge. I think that's the biggest liability, the biggest exposure, the biggest risk. And I'm risk averse when it comes to business. I really don't like to take risks in business. They're always going to be risk, but I like to mitigate the risk by going and getting the knowledge.
That's right.
So in my experience, when the Most High Elijah Muhammad says observe their operations, the key word for me was always operations. I need to know how things function. I need to know the law of cause and effect. I need to know how to engineer, how to reverse engineer. I need to know all of these things. I need to know how to count. I need to know how to market. I need to know how to train. I need to know how to hire. I need to know how to order inventory. I need to know how to inspire. I need to know how to motivate people. I need to know how to sell. Like all of these different elements of business. I need to know the finance aspect. I need to know how to make myself bankable. I need to build credibility and build credit. All of these things that I need to be able to fund and push and move a business, I'm going to go sit in that business and I'm going to rise to the top. I'm going to be the number one salesperson. I'm going to be the number one advocate of the business. I'm going to respect those in authority. I'm going to be humble so that I don't appear as a threat, so that I can get more data, more information, more knowledge. I'm going to be there early. I'm going to leave late. I'm going to do things that's over and beyond what's required of me to do. I'm going to go be the light. I'm going to go shine. I'm going to illuminate. I'm going to go be Muslim. I'm going to treat people right. I'm going to do every single thing that I can possibly imagine to separate myself from every person in that place so that I can keep climbing up in business. And every time I climb, I'm going to learn another element. I'm going to learn another element. So by the time, it's time for me to go do business, not only am I super confident, not only am I knowledgeable, not only am I an expert, but I'm ready. And I'm not going to make any moves prematurely. So the patience in business is, I think, a major key to get into that level. Wow. So when you go into a business with the, beginning with the end in mind, when I'm going to work for someone, I'm working for me, and I'm working for my family. I'm working for my community. I'm working for my nation. I don't care what the color of that person is, the creed, the class, the sexual preference, whatever that is. I don't care. I'm going to get a knowledge like every other person like every other race of people who go get a knowledge and then go take it back to benefit their people. I'm going to get a knowledge, and I'm going to get really, really good at applying that knowledge. I'm not just going to go get that knowledge. The good thing about it is I get to get that knowledge, but I get to practice it on someone else's dime. And I get paid to learn how to practice that knowledge. So by the time it's time for me to go move, not only have I learned the knowledge, learn how to apply the knowledge, but I've also built my team in the process. I've also learned the people who are coming with me when I go build this company. I also, know how to source people. I know what I'm looking for in people. So now when I go leave, I got a whole strategy. I'm not freestyling. I'm not guessing. So now my risk is so low that now the self-doubt can't creep in because I'm so knowledgeable.
Come on.
So if you think about it, a lot of times we don't act because of self-doubt. Well, why do you doubt? Because you don't know. Okay, cool. Go get some knowledge, remove the doubt, and now go act.
Come on.
So, Brother Dawood, before you go any further, dear brother, because I don't know if you realize what you just did, brother. I don't even know if you realize what you just did. You just laid out in those last 3 to 4 minutes a blueprint for anyone that wants to go into any kind of business and be successful. So, brothers and sisters, I portion of our Thursday night talk and play that over and over again in your mind. Brother, that was a very beautiful black print and blueprint that you just laid out.
I like that, Brother Loud, the black print. Let's go.
Black print.
Brother Dawood, to me it sounded like you take the time to learn the ins and outs of a company, how a company works.
Absolutely.
And not only that, you take on the business ethics that are necessary to become successful.
Yes, sir.
Wow.
Ins
and
and outs.
I gotta tell you something, Brother Tony.
Proper handling of people.
I want to tell you something. I want to make another point real quick. Mm-hmm. I'm willing to be like, compensation for me is not just cash. I'm willing to be compensated in knowledge, right? So let's say as a salesperson, right? When I was a salesperson, I would make more money than some of the sales managers and the finance managers. Because I was so good at sales, right? But for me to become an owner, I had to get into management. I knew to move to a finance manager, I was going to take a pay cut, right? From a cash perspective, but I was going to be compensated in the knowledge.
Right.
So an employee benefit for me is not just cash, it's knowledge. And that's even with the people that work under my leadership. I pay them in cash, but I also pay them in knowledge because I'm willing to grow them in knowledge so they can go do for self. Because ultimately, if you work under my leadership and you want to go do for self, I'm not in the way of you doing for self.
Right.
So I'm willing to pay in compensation, but I'm also willing to make that a part of my employee package. If I'm working for someone else in my negotiations, I want to know, well, what kind of knowledge, what kind of knowledge, what's my career path? What kind of schooling are you willing to invest in me to obtain if I'm willing to take a little bit less cash? And since I've always lived below my means, I could afford to get compensated partly in cash and partly in education.
Wait, Brother Dawood, you said something that I didn't quite understand. And you said something, you said living below your means. I'm a little slow. Can you break that down for me and us?
So I'm gonna bring something up, right? I was reading this one day and I shared it with my dad.
Come on.
And I think I shared it with my wife too. And it was something that the Most Honorable Elijah Muhammad was teaching us a long time ago, right? And you get a lot of people out here teaching us financial literacy and teaching us credit and all this type of stuff.
Yes, sir.
And I always credit business ethics and business success to the Most Honorable Elijah Muhammad, because I personally feel that not only was he the best reformer, the best spiritual leader in the history of all mankind, but I feel like he was also the best businessman.
Oh, yeah.
So if you look at, this is an article from Muhammad Speaks, and this is September 20th, 1974. It says, pay your debts. It says, this is from the Most Honorable Elijah Muhammad, the messenger of Allah.
Mm.
He says, dear brothers and sisters, there are many white people writing me now saying that you do not pay your debts. You know I have not taught you any such wicked idea. I am going to put you out of the temple, those who are doing this, for an example for those to come in the future.
Wow.
You are spoiling our credit, and I am going to put you out of the temple and let white folks know that I am not on your side and not paying them the honest debts that you owe to them, because I know Allah blesses you to have the money to pay your debts as long as you are not extravagant. That's from the Most Honorable
My
Muhammad in
God.
1974. Okay, so he's teaching us credibility. He's teaching us integrity, and he tells us to not pay our debts is a wicked idea that he has nothing to do with. So if you think about if we live below our means, how much more successful can we be in investing in ourselves? You know, we spend money on things that don't add to the knowledge base that can help put us in positions where we could go grow businesses and we could really go do for self. Because it takes money. It takes money to be a leader. If you want to be a leader in a business, you could go be a boss. You could call yourself a boss and all of that. But if you have a goal of employing people and changing lives, it's going to take money for you to do that, to invest in yourself, to get the knowledge and to have the business acumen to lead, not be a boss because you have authority, but to be a leader because you have wisdom and you could influence and you can teach and you can help. That takes an investment.
Right.
But if you're spending money on foolishness, then that's less money that you can invest in that knowledge base to be more effective and be more competitive with this enemy.
And with that being said, we're going to go to another commercial break.
Come on now, we go to commercial break, right? You about to watch your second only commercial of a black-owned car dealership right here on Separate Region Coalition Thursday Night Talk.
Nissan's award-winning lineup. Let's test drive. I'll get the key.
No, we have a technique. You need to turn right.
It's over 2 miles before we have to turn.
Do you even know how to use your blinker?
How about if I turn it on as soon as we get in the car?
Mom, she won't share. Girls, stop it.
That's some test drive.
I'll turn this car around. It's perfect.
Get 0.9% financing during the Thrill of the Drive sales event. Nissan of Hendersonville, where we go the extra smile.
That's cool.
You didn't tell us you were a psychologist too, brother, did you? Did he not tap into the psyche? How many cars is that commercial worth?
Right.
That's right.
Praise to Allah. And see, that's another aspect of business, right, Brother Lau? The marketing piece, right? That's the marketing, right? So it's all these different elements, core elements of business that we have to make sure that we're successful in, that we understand. We understand the marketing. We understand the finance element of it. We understand the accounting. We understand the sales aspect of it. We understand the training and the motivating and the inspiring. Like, we got to understand all of these aspects. We understand the competitive market and the competitive landscape and how to go at how to be competitive in the market, right? We're studying our competitors. Like, business is warfare. We're acting accordingly.
Great. You know, Brother Dawood, I have a question. Now, and it's no knock to new businesses, but you know, a lot of new businesses, they applaud when they get their keys. They applaud when they, you know, cutting the ribbon, right? That's like a ceremony, right? But a lot of businesses, even Black businesses, don't even make it out of the year. Okay. And then you see the accolade of getting the key, but then you see the downfall because they're not using business strategy as it relates to business as you relate, as you says, warfare. So my question to you is, how do you endure business and put that into the perspective of longevity? Because I know you said legacy, right? You use that term, which a lot of times Black people don't use. But can you kind of touch bases in regards to the endurance of your business tactics?
So thank you for that question, sister. So I think when it comes to endurance, I think that number one, it's all about sales. Okay. So I say this often because I believe that most businesses go out of business because of a lack of sales. And a lot of times businesses go out of business because of the mismanagement of funds.
There you go.
And we mismanage funds because we don't pay enough attention to the business piece, but we can sell.
Right.
So in studying some of our people who were successful, like I watched this movie called Cadillac Records.
Yeah.
It was literally paying dues in Cadillacs. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm like, and then I read so many stories on some of our brothers and sisters who were so talented, who were so charismatic, who had salesmanship, but they were being robbed because they just weren't paying attention to the business. Sales is a part of business, but it's not business comprehensively.
Right.
So the minister teaches us that none of us have a comprehensive knowledge of anything. But I could strive though, right? But that doesn't mean I can't strive. So I'm striving to have a comprehensive knowledge of my business. So I don't want to be the guy that's charismatic that could go out there and sell, but my accountant is robbing me. So I have an accounting, a controller or an accountant in my store. I have a CPA consultant. I have a CPA firm. So now, and then I study, right? And there's a daily practice of me waking up in the morning and logging on to the bank account and clicking on all of the checks and looking at every other check, trying to figure out, wait, is this accurate? Is this right? Then following up with my controller, if there's anything off, asking for an explanation. What's going on with this? This looks a little high. The Duke Energy bill was higher than normal, right? Looking at the transactions, going on the credit card, looking at the credit card, setting up systems to where if money's spent, I'm signing off on it, having 2 signers on checks, and just so many checks and balances, right? To make sure that the business is being taken care of. So my focus is mostly now on business acumen. Where is the cash? Where is the money? Where is it at? Where is the frozen capital? How do I turn frozen capital into liquid assets, cash in my bank account? Like, I'm really following the money, right? So a lot of us, I don't think that we understand the business aspect of whatever we do. So if I'm let's say I run a school, or I want to own a school, or whatever the case may be. Before I go and venture out on that, I'm probably going to try to figure out, how do I get on the administrative side? I want to be a part of, how do we raise funds for the school? What's the pro forma? Like, how does the school actually make money? I know I want to go teach and all of that type of stuff, but how does the school fund itself? I want to know that. I want to know, how do we write the curriculum? How do we market our curriculum? How do we make it attractive? How do we teach me about endowment? I want to know, how do we get the graduating students to give back to the school so that we can continue to move the school? I want to know all of the business of the business, right? I'm interested in all of that. I want to know all of that. So I think that one of the things that we have to do when we ribbon cut, I think that you gotta educate yourself. You just absolutely have to educate yourself on the business and understand that sales is a component of the business.
Right.
But you have to understand accounting. You have to understand how to count the money,
Right.
how to budget the money,
All of these
where
are-
all the money goes,
Yes, sir.
how to allocate the funding. You gotta follow that dollar. So because you need the cash to run the business. And the last part I would say is you got to be frugal. Like my wife will tell you, I'm cheap, man. Like my wife gets everything that she wants, but boy, is she a really good salesperson to accomplish it. I gotta tell you, boy, can she sell? Because man, I'm a hard close. She gonna get that. Trust me, my wife gonna get everything she desires. But boy, is it gonna be war to an extent. Like sometimes, like because it's like I'm so frugal, right?
Right.
And I'm frugal like that when it comes to our business. I'm like, for every dollar I overpay, man, that's taken from somebody that's not even born yet that we're working for. Like we understand that we're working for people who are not born right now. We understand that, right? And we understand that we want a business that can last 100 years plus.
That's right.
Like, and we want to build a foundation like that. And this is not some theory or just some idea. This is actual fact, because we see companies that are 112 years old. When we bought this business, we bought a business that was 40 years old. I was 39 years old when my wife and I purchased the business. The business was old. These folks owned the business for longer than I was born. It was in their family, passed down from generations to generations, right? With that business acumen, they weren't just inheriting the business, they were inheriting the system, inheriting the business acumen, inheriting the protection, which is the knowledge to keep the business flowing. And then the last piece I would say on this topic is moving with the times, being around young people, investing in young people.
Yes.
I like understanding that the business has changed. If it's TikTok, we need to advertise on TikTok. If it's Instagram, we need to be in Instagram. We need to be where the people consume information and where they make decisions. Whatever they look at to make a decision, we have to be there, right? So I think those are some of the things that from cutting the ribbon to enduring and staying in business, and then studying, staying studious, right? We haven't arrived, right? We haven't arrived because we own one car dealership.
Right.
Okay? My wife and I's vision is so much bigger than one car dealership.
Right.
I could go on and on about this. I'm gonna go a little bit longer because I know I'm like rambling, but it's like so much coming out of me. So we own this dealership, right? My wife and I own Nissan in Hendersonville, right? We don't feel like we've arrived because we have a point of reference that always keeps us humble and keeps us striving.
Come on.
That point of reference is the Most Honorable Elijah Muhammad and the Honorable Mr. Louis Farrakhan.
Come on.
Beautiful.
They built a nation and then rebuilt the nation. They did that with a broken people, sick people,
come on,
poor people,
come on,
who they were able to reform and then build a nation of volunteers.
Come on.
The least I could do is buy a car dealership and pay people to be successful.
Right.
These men did it with volunteers. I don't get paid to go be an FOI.
Right.
I don't get paid to help the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan.
That's right.
Right.
Come on.
Although the compensation from Allah is so unmatched.
Come on.
Right.
Ain't nobody doing this.
Right.
So you think about the magnitude and the majesty of that work, and you'll always be humbled if you keep your eyes on the prize. So that humility drives us to keep going, and then it's not enough for us to be free. Harriet Tubman isn't great because she freed herself.
Come on.
Harriet Tubman is great because she went and got others and freed them.
Come on, teach.
Who didn't even know they were slaves, and she could have freed more, but they didn't know they were slaves.
Right.
She provided a service of getting a knowledge, freeing herself, going back and freeing others. If she didn't, then she would have been a traitor. But she didn't. That's why she's great. So it's not enough for my wife and I to cut the ribbon, go be successful, and then stop. The goal is 10,000 jobs.
Come on.
If we could create 10,000 jobs, man, that's working. But right now we've created 36.
Wow.
That's not enough.
Right.
We gotta keep going, and we gotta keep pushing. So when you're fueled by a level of spirituality, then that's the endurance. That's what drives.
Beautiful.
That's what drives the endurance.
Beautiful.
Being rich isn't enough.
Right.
Being wealthy isn't enough if we're not facilitating the freedom of our people.
Right.
If we're not a part of that. So when you think, sister, when you say the endurance, the motivation and the inspiration behind the work, I think the minister teaches us that that impacts or affects the altitude of whatever work you're doing.
Right.
Brother Dawood, of course, you talked about the importance about freeing others, but we can't free others without first freeing ourselves. So I have a question for you, my brother.
I love it.
What was the process like to go into ownership yourself? I believe you were 25% ownership in West Palm Beach Nissan.
Yes, sir.
To now 100% ownership of Hendersonville Nissan. If you could just give us a little bit of a history of how that came about.
Praise be to Allah. So when I was at the Monroe Nissan store, I was there for 2 years and 8 months, and practically won a Nissan Award of Excellence. It was a brand new business. Didn't have any customers because it was a brand new, what they call an open point, a brand new store. Started from scratch, and my team and I was able to build that store from scratch to one of the top Nissan stores in North Carolina. And based off of that, the owner of the company presented me with an opportunity to be a 25% partner in his one of his worst Nissan stores. I think at the time he owned like 22 Nissan stores, and I sat in his office and we discussed it, and he pulled out all of the financial statements of all of his Nissan stores. He was very transparent, and he told me that there's 2 stores out of my 22 stores that I hate, and the one in West Palm Beach is one of them, and I hope that you can make me like it. And I said, absolutely. I was absolutely interested in the challenge, because it was an opportunity for me to learn ownership. I knew it was going to be a pay cut. Even as an owner, I took a pay cut because I was in a very successful store, and 25% of a store that's not successful doesn't pay you more than 0% of a store that's very successful. So I did the math, and I knew what I was getting into, but I had a lot of money saved up from living below my means and stacking paper up and debt free. And there was just a lot of good things going on. So I could take the risk because I was positioned to take the risk and go get the information and go learn.
Yes, sir.
And I went to took that opportunity as a 25% partner and practically went through hell. The whole journey was every bump, every road, every self-doubt type of situation that could be presented, every circumstance. I mean, you name it, I went through it. In those almost 4 years, the toughest challenge in my career, the hardest job I've ever had, including Taco Bell when I was 16. I mean, just the biggest challenge in my whole career. And I could have quit and went and made more money doing something else, but I looked at it like I was getting a college degree. And I went in there to get my 4 years, except for this discipline was ownership. I was learning how to own. I was learning the ups and downs of owning. I was learning how you can run out of cash in your business. I learned that you could be profitable and still be broke. And I was learning so much about the accounting element and the money piece of it that I was like, oh my God, what a blessing. Like, what a blessing by Allah to position me to be able to learn ownership at only a 25% exposure. So if I lost $1, if I own 100%, that dollar's gone, the whole dollar. But I was only losing 25%, but getting a lesson of losing $1. I was getting that. So the value for me was just so high because I was learning ownership. So when I went to West Palm Beach, I got that opportunity to learn. So from there, the biggest transition, I met my wife in West Palm. And when I lived in West Palm, I met my wife. And from there, once we sold our stock back to the owner, my partner, and we didn't sell it back. And I always like to say this, we didn't sell it back by choice.
Right.
Okay? If I wasn't a partner in any other circumstance, you would say you got fired. Okay. In any other circumstance, you would say I was fired. And that's a very, very important point to make and to realize, is because I failed in that position in some regard, but I was very successful in another regard. But I failed from an overall performance perspective in the eyes of my partner, but I was successful because I took away so much knowledge and my confidence was so high, because when I left on top, because I did end up turning around the store. My team and I, we did turn that store and make that store successful, but my partner felt like someone else could do better. They didn't do better. The person that replaced me, they lasted for a year and then they had to get another partner. I just want to put that out there so people could understand. Yeah, I did fail, but I was successful also, and no one has been able to match what I've done since I've left. But the real point is that I got the knowledge, and it was so important, and I didn't quit in the process, which the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan teaches us, that sometimes our issue is we abort the process.
Woo.
Right.
So we abort being made into a God.
Here he goes again.
We abort the process.
We abort the process. We do that ourselves.
That's a part of endurance.
Nobody else. We do that.
Yeah, a part of the endurance model and the endurance mindset is you can't abort the process.
Come on.
You going into it not quitting your post until you properly relieved.
Come on.
I was properly relieved. I didn't quit. I was properly relieved. So once I was properly relieved, all praise is due to Allah. So now I left with a lot of knowledge, and my wife and I went on to this road of we're gonna go get free. And we was getting offers to go be partners of other car dealerships and all this type stuff. And my wife and I was like, absolutely not. We're doing partnerships. If we can't be 100% owners, we're not interested. So we went on a tour, I think 13 dealerships, I think we may have looked at. We might have looked at like 13 plus dealerships. And we traveled all across the United States looking at stores, not all across, but it seemed that way because we was in the minivan. My wife was doing all of the driving, and I was working while she was driving, and we was going all across the country. My wife quit her job.
A family affair.
We went all in,
brother. Man.
And we found this dealership, and we knew it was the one, and we ended up purchasing that dealership. She emptied out her 401k. I emptied out my 401k. We sold some properties. We put up all of our cash in literally everything that we had, with the exception of about $20,000. We put every single thing that we had. We pledged all of our assets, our properties, everything. We put it all on the line. Took out life insurance policy, you name it. I'm being transparent so people can understand that once you have the knowledge, you bet. Once you had the knowledge, you got to bet on yourself. So my wife was a nurse making 6 figures. She quit because I needed my wife's support 100% to be able to do this. My wife quit. She didn't go back to nursing. She quit her 6-figure job. I was on it. We were living with my parents for 4 months. We lived in an Airbnb for 2 months, lived in a hotel
Wow.
for 45 days.
Come on, teach
We
brother.
put it all on the line, and we never felt like it was a risk
Outstanding.
because
Praise
we
the
had
Lord.
got so much knowledge, and we went through hell. We went through a furnace of affliction to come out with great substance.
Come on.
So by the time it was time to play ball, we were so confident, and literally in 2 months, the business was so successful in the second month. I mean, the second month of the business, it just blew up in 12 months. Wow. I mean, we were more successful in the first 12 months than my last 5-6 years of my career combined. I mean, it was just ridiculous. But we were free to exert all of our creativity, and we had so much knowledge and we had so much wisdom that we were able to cut the ribbon. But this business, inshallah, is going to endure because the foundation is strong. The systems that uphold what we're doing is strong. And we're going to stay spiritual. We're going to stay helping the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan. We're going to stay studying. We're going to we're going to remain humble, remain patient.
That's
We're
right.
going to keep pushing. And it's inevitable for us to be successful. Will we take will we have some downfalls? Absolutely. But we live below our means. Still to this day, we live below our means. So that's our protection.
Right.
Right.
You know what, family? Let's take a pause right there, right? Because this is such a beautifully packaged physical, mental, spiritual message about business.
A lot of jewels.
It deserves a bow.
Come on.
Deserves a bow. Brother has clearly laid out physically, mentally, spiritually, everything it takes, and it is taking. Family, those of you who are listening, I want you to do two things. If you have any questions, you better get them in now because we're going to put a bow on this beautiful package. So get your questions in. But I also want you, and as you all are listening to this, put your business ideas out there.
Yep.
You know, put it out there. Put it in the chat about what you want. You got to claim it. You heard our brother say clearly, you got to begin with the end in mind. And while that's being done, while you're asking your questions, while you're putting your businesses out there, first of all, Brother Dowie, we have to thank you for two reasons. The easy thing is to thank you for being with us tonight.
Right.
That's the easy thing, my dear brother.
Praise
But
be to
we
Allah.
thank you most of all, beloved brother, for you and your wife's example on how to do business as a Muslim family.
Wow.
And continue to be Muslim, continue to be ethical, continue to be moral. Family, cast your business ideas out there, brother. Outstanding representation tonight.
Brother Lau, but as they're sharing their information, and before Brother Lau gets back into it, I want to say this. For those that are serious about starting or understanding how to start a business, there's so much free content out there. And I'm going to say certain places that you can go online if you're not sure, if you don't know, if you have questions. You've got Khan Academy that has all these different free courses you get on and take and learn about accounting, learn about business, learn about marketing. All those things are free. Or you can take professional certificate courses through Coursera, where you can go and you can learn. So there's so many avenues if in your discipline of what you wanted to do to learn how to do the things that Brother Dawood is talking about. So I just wanted to make sure I drop that in there because sometimes we think that we have to go back to school or try to get these degrees, and it's really not necessary. You just got to know where to get the information and start to learn it and start to implement what you've learned. So I just want to say that.
On that note, Sister Michelle, we do have a question from our viewing audience.
Yes.
And the question comes from Mr. Dawood Sr.
No. Hold on, Brother Tony. Before we get to that one, Sister Anita.
There was another question.
Right before.
I see it. Let me share.
Oh, that's an easy fix.
That's very easy.
Let's show her the next commercial we got. You're
All
gonna
right.
learn what kind of
Let's
business
show the
this
next
brother got.
commercial, and then we'll go with
This-
Mr.
this-
Dawood's question.
Sister Nita, this commercial you get ready to watch, this is brother's business. This is his business. This commercial right here,
Our
you get
brother
ready to
right
watch.
there.
Right there. Brother
His
Dawood.
Commercial, use it.
Nissan Road. Top safety pick. Nissan of Hendersonville. Love it or leave it exchange program.
Hey, neighbor. What are you doing? 0% up to 60 months on select Nissan. Get your summer ride at Nissan of Hendersonville, where we go the extra smile.
That was so dope.
Hey, no, Sister Nita, it wasn't a car wash. No, the brother don't own a car wash. He owns Nissan Hendersonville.
That's right.
And look, let's not get it twisted. We're talking about the illusion, right? So we see these. Look, we see these videos all the time, right? We see these commercials all the time, and our first thought as Black people, let's come on, like you say, sister, brother Dawood, let's be transparent. The first thing you're gonna think about is, oh, somebody white own that business,
Right.
You see all the white people in the commercials. You see all the white people. You see the white Snow White, voice comes out. Get a car, all of a sudden you say, oh, somebody white own that. But you would never have an idea or even a thought that our dear brother owns those car washes. I mean, car washes.
Car
washes.
Car dealerships.
Car dealerships. I just seen a car. I just seen that man. Listen, a car dealership. Don't get it twisted. A car dealership. So
On that note.
like on that note, I just want to do this. For those of you who have dreams, for those of you who have inspirations, because you know they're there, because God gave everybody a purpose for this, for your being, right? And it would be shameful for you not to live within your purpose. Right. This brother is showing you how to live within his purpose.
Come on.
So I just wanted to drop that, and we can go to the next question.
And this is a perfect transition to this question. Now, question: what should a young person take from this live?
I'm gonna answer that in 1 second. I want to just make a point on this commercial.
Come on, brother Dawood.
So on that commercial, right? I want to make us understand this, and this is for young people too. So this could go into that answer.
Yes, sir.
So the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan teaches us speak the language of the people, right? Okay. And we're also taught that we want an equal and complete freedom. We want a freedom for all people.
Right.
It doesn't matter their color, it doesn't matter their class, it doesn't matter their creed. It doesn't matter about any of that. And we also will have friendships in all walks of life. And Master Prophet Muhammad traveled all the inhabited areas of the earth, making friends for us, right? This is all actual facts, right?
That's right.
So when you think about the demographics of an area, if my demographic is 81.1% white, right?
Teach, do the math.
Right.
What do you think my commercials are going to reflect?
Come on.
Talk that talk.
They better reflect at least 81%.
I'm gonna talk to the people, and I always like to make this clear. We don't subscribe to racism in any capacity, right? That's not the Nation of Islam. That's just not us, right?
That's right.
We're just not about that life. That's beneath our teacher, our teachings, our mission. All of that is beneath us. So I'm a Muslim in business, in a position of power, executing and showing what it is to be a Muslim in the Nation of Islam what that represents, and that's freedom
right.
and that's freedom, justice, and equality for all people.
That's right.
So
Come on.
if you think about it, I'm responsible, okay, for at least 35, 36 families who work in Nissan of Hendersonville under my leadership. Okay. So if I'm about freedom, justice, and equality, and I'm the leader of that organization, I need to put these people in the best position to provide for their families. That's Islam.
Right.
Right.
That's
So
right.
I'm not caught up in, oh, it's a black owned business, and thinking that I need to have all black people in the commercial if that could hinder how much opportunity that we have, and it could impact and have a negative effect on my ability to administer freedom, justice, and equality, and put these people in a position to provide for their families.
Talk to them silly rabbits, brother.
So all of this is the teachings of the Most Honorable Elijah Muhammad. All of this is Islam, right? So it's just we gotta think beyond, just color, because what Master Fard Muhammad brought to the Most Honorable Elijah Muhammad is absolutely a universal teaching.
That's right.
100% actual fact, absolutely a universal teaching. So what this is for all people, right?
Right.
This is what Islam is about. This is what business is about. Business is the activity of life.
Come on,
right? This is what business is about.
That's what the minister teaches. Come on.
In business is psychology, right? In business is the mentality and the mindset of people. People like people that are like them. The minister gave us an example one day. He was talking about when somebody takes a picture, and if you are in that picture, the first thing you do when you look for that picture, who you looking for?
You're looking for you.
You're looking for yourself.
Yeah.
So if my demographic is 81% white, I'm going to show people who they're looking for.
That's right.
And then they're going to come into a black owned and operated business, and they're going to get a high level of service. They're going to get an excellent. They're going to see what excellence looks like, and they're going to be treated with respect, and they're going to be treated according to what our teacher teaches us in the proper handling of people. That's the objective. That's the goal.
You know what, Brother Dawood? I just saw
a
special statistic just came in, and it says that 100% of all races, creeds, classes, and colors buy cars.
That's a fact. And sexual preferences, you name it, all of it.
Right.
All of it. So that's that. So the question about young people. So the question about young people and how does this help young people? So
come on, Brother Dawood.
We're working on a course that helps us to learn business acumen, but eventually we're gonna be able to put that course out in the community to support and help to teach us business acumen. But from a young person, I want young people to be more intentional. Okay. So when I went to college, I didn't have an intention. So a lot of us are going to college, and I'm not a person who says college is for every person. I'm not that guy. Like, I'm not the one that says my child has to go to college. I don't subscribe to that. If they're not going to for a specific intention that requires college for them to actually accomplish that, like a lawyer or a doctor or a dentist or whatever that may be, you have to go to college to do this.
Right.
Yes,
but if you want to be an entrepreneur, I have a vision that my wife, I'm pretty confident, shares with me, is we want to create a college alternative. So that was one of the questions that you asked about, what do we see the business being in the future? But just imagine this. So there's this 17-year-old. Could you be Are you a junior FOI 17 or can you be FOI 17?
FOI.
You could become
You
registered
get
at
registered at 16, sir.
16? Okay, praise be to Allah. Okay, so there's a 17-year-old just got registered, been registered for a year, and is finishing up high school. And they're 18 years old now. A year later, they're about to finish up high school, and they need to figure out what are they about to do next. Their natural inclination, based off all of the propaganda and every advertisement and every push of they need to go to college. They've decided that they want to own a business. And Brother Dawood is, Sister Marie, we're pushing harder than the army to recruit these people.
Mm.
We're all over them, right? So we're recruiting them. We're saying, hey, since you haven't quite decided what you want to do yet, instead of going and getting some college debt,
Right.
come work with your uncle and your aunt. So we're going to say, you're 18 years old. We're about to put you in business 101.
Come
How?
on.
At 18 years old, you're going to come out here and sell cars for your uncle and your aunt. You're going to sell cars. We're going to teach you credit. We're going to teach you how to live below your means. You're going to make yourself $50,000, $60,000 a year selling cars. We're going to teach you how to save that money up. We're going to teach you how in 4 years you should have had a master's degree, more prestigious than Harvard and Yale combined. And you will have a degree on how to sell. You will have a degree on how to operate in business. You will have a degree on how to properly treat people. You will have a degree on how to prospect. You will have a degree on how to organize yourself. You will have a degree on how to budget. You will have a degree on how to look at your direct deposit and make sure that you weren't overtaxed or whatever the case may be. What did you thought you got actually went into the bank account.
Correct.
You will have a degree on how to invest in a property. So if you start with me at 18, at 20 years old, guess what you have? You made $60,000 your first year. You made $60,000 your second year. So now you have no debt. You got a 700 credit score.
Right.
You got proof of income, a W-2 that says you made $60,000 2 years in a row.
Right.
Guess what you qualify for?
Come on.
A business.
You qualify for a duplex. We're going to get to the business, but you qualify for a duplex.
Go ahead,
Right.
brother. Go ahead.
After making $60,000 twice, $60,000, if you keep, let's call it 80%, I think that's $48K you net. So you made $48K, you netted $48K twice, that's $96,000. Let's say it cost you $3,000 a month to live, so that's $36,000
Right.
on those 2 years, whatever the case may be. So now you got some cash. You should have close to about, let's call it $50,000, $60,000 in cash. If you live below your means, now you're 20 years old, you got $50,000, $60,000 in cash. It's time to go get a duplex. You was renting for 2 years, so you got good rental history. Okay. So now when it's come time to go get approved for this duplex, they're gonna want a percentage down. The duplex is $200,000 in a decent neighborhood in North Carolina, so it's not as expensive as the 7th region in Miami. Okay, so this number is realistic when I say you put this money down. All right, so let's say you put this 20% down on this $200,000 duplex. That's $40,000. You still got $20,000 left in cash, and you know you got $5,000 gross income coming the next month. So now you went and bought this duplex. Your mortgage was, let's say, $1,200 a month, and the person that's renting from you is paying the $1,200. So they're paying your rent. So now you're living for free, building up equity. You're 20. Now you're 20 years old. You've established some net worth. You got good credit. You got cash. You got a cash flowing asset. You're doing real good at 20 years old. You still don't have any college debt. Okay, cool, no problem. Now you say, you know what, Brother Dawood? you and Sister Marie, you and Auntie Marie, y'all been talking a lot of stuff about all of this do for self stuff. So you know that I'm not going to be with you forever. And I'm like, well, if you were, then you would have failed me and I would have failed you. So we already established that. So what's this business that you figured out you wanted to do now while you were making money for the first 2 years and not accumulating debt? You was actually making money those first 2 years. Tell me about this business again. Oh, this business is, I want to own my own barbershop. Praise be to Allah. So let me ask you this. You work 5 days for me. What you do on the weekends? Oh, I go sweep the barbershop on the weekends. Man, you that humble to do that? Yeah, I'm that humble to do that because I'm about to go learn how to operate in this barbershop. I'm going to go sweep the barbershop. I'm going to go sweep the floors for free. I don't need the money because I'm making $5,000-$6,000 with you. I don't need the money. I'm going to go sweep this barbershop, sweep the floors in this barbershop, and I'm going to go learn from this barbershop owner operations. So he told me I need about $60,000. I need about $50,000-$60,000 to properly start my barbershop and be able to market it and all of that and endure whatever goes on. Okay, you still working at the dealership, you stacking up, you get your cash up. Now you're 21 years old, you've been sweeping floors for a whole year, and you stacked up, you built your cash back up to go get this barbershop. Right. And then you thought you were gonna go drop the cash on it, but then Brother Dawood and Auntie Evening said, "Hey, listen, go sit down with the SBA, brother. You're qualified now.
That's right.
Go sit down with the SBA. Let's go. Let's go see. If you got some business credit established. We was talking about, because keep in mind we was building your personal credit, but also we was teaching you business credit from 18 to 21. So 3 years, your LLC is already together. You moving forward. Boom, boom, boom. Right. And now we was helping you establish business credit. You had your virtual office. You had a couple, had a little Home Depot card, whatever these little cards you can get. You was putting all of that, building up the business credit while we was building the personal credit. You was doing all of that. So now you're going to go sit down with a company and you're going to say, hey,
come on,
what's up? By the way, when you bought that first car, when you bought that first car from the dealership that you work at, we put that car in your business name and you co-signed for it. You personally guaranteed it. So from day one, it was a business expense from day one. All of this is together. So now you want to go start this business. Guess what? You possibly might be in a position where you could get a loan because you might be bankable. You got an asset, cash flowing asset, right? You got $50,000-$60,000 in cash. At this point, you could prove that for 3 years you was making $60,000-$70,000 a year.
Now, what age is this now? We at, Brother Dawood? What age?
21.
You're at 21. By this time, 21. You're 21 years old.
I'm already adding
so then real quick. So 21. We gotta do this before we lose our audience to depression. We have to do this, right? Because all of us that are flashing back to 18, 19, 20, and 21. We're getting depressed. We're getting depressed. It's okay, family. It's okay. Come up out of depression. There was not a Brother Dawood around when we were that age, but there's one around now. And at the very least, he can be a lighthouse for junior MGT and junior FYI all across our nation. So rejoice in that and come on up out that depression about thinking about how we was.
But Brother Lau, you could be, if you're willing in your 40s to go back to school and be educated
for 3 years, by the time you're 43,
right? Hey,
might have a little bit more mess to clean up.
Listen,
a little bit more mess to clean up.
You just made up the past 20 years,
right?
Beautiful, brother.
Look what we can do with these young people. So that, if you look at these young people, right? Look what we could do. Look what we could do for these young people when we give them intention and they're deliberate.
Come on, teach.
Right? We give them vision, and they can see it. Right? They can see it. And it goes back to my childhood. I could see these people in business. I could see the barbershop owner. I could see my mom. I could see my dad. I could see these Muslim restaurants. I could see these people in business doing business, right? So, at 21, 22 years old, what kind of position is this young person in? And here's the deal. What I think, which is, I think the game changer was probably the best accomplishment other than registering in the Nation of Islam in my life. Now, this young man, if he's a junior FOI, what is he positioned to do? Go get him a queen.
That's right.
He
Help the
disqualified himself, and then once he
Go
once he
ahead,
gets
bro.
her,
Go ahead, lay it
once
out,
he gets
brother.
her, skyrocket.
Right.
Once he get that right sister, oh man, it's over.
Mm.
It's over. See, now this man is positioned, and now guess what? Now we got more marriages in the Nation of Islam. Now we
Come
got
on.
more families.
Strong
Now
marriage.
we
You ain't right now,
really a
brother
nation.
Dawood. He just took the subject matter, and now he talked about all of the 3 sciences that we would never be taught, and he wrapped them all up into a programmatic thrust for our young people. Family.
Praise
Come on.
be to
That's
Allah.
right, Bilal. Come on.
Mm.
Brother Dawood.
So that's what I think for young. That's what I think for young people, right? That's what I think for young people. Be patient, right? Learn how to sell. Learn how to sell and go in there with intention, right? And that's how I think we gotta guide them. And this is not theory. This is not just theory.
Right.
We took a young brother. He had already finished college, and he was like 20-something years old. And it was a brother from the Atlanta mosque, and he sent his son out to come and work at my store in West Palm. And now he owns his own trucking company. He got a truck. But he was selling cars, making money, stacking money, doing this whole deal, doing real good for himself. And he sent me a picture the other day, got his first truck.
Wow.
So he started his own trucking company, right? Oh, one last thing I want to say, Brother Lau, real quick. This concept, right? I'm really passionate about this concept, hustle while you work. I learned it from a brother named Imhotep when I was at Morehouse College. It was a brother that was teaching financial literacy at a very young age, like way before people was doing it on the internet with all of these classes and things of that nature. There's a brother named Imhotep at Morehouse College, Morehouse graduate. He was teaching this concept called hustle while you work. And it was you fund your job. You use your job to fund your business, but you never quit your job until your business can live on its own and pay all of its bills and save money for itself and be able to take care of you and your family the same way or more or better than the job was. So until that business can provide what that job did and provide for itself, because that business has to pay its bills and then it has to pay your bills too. Until it can do that, then it's not time to leave yet. It's not time to exit. And that's sometimes when we get into that spirit of do for self, within do for self, there's a patience factor.
Right.
You gotta have the patience, and you can't be premature in your exodus.
Right.
Right. I think the Exodus program is to get 100 customers. Right. I think the minister wants us to get 100 customers. Well, until I got 100 customers, there is no Exodus. I'm not leaving until I'm positioned. Right.
Right.
So I just think I'm a real advocate of that piece, and that's why. When you're working in this car dealership, I'm all about these young people working in this car dealership, learning what they can learning sales at a high level, making that money, stacking up that money, positioning themselves, and then going out and doing for self. And they have developed a craft. They have developed a craft called salesmanship. Now they can go and really do for self and really go out there and get busy. And never turn back.
Brother Dawood, you said something that really touched, and this brings me to a point what I heard Minister Sharif said. Every family should have a business at home, a home business, whatever it may be. But every family, not saying, again, leaving your job until your business is successful, that is actually paying the bills that you were once using your job, your 9-to-5 to pay the bills. But every family should have a business, ownership or a business in mind, whether it's bean pies or whether it's selling shoes or whatever the case may be on the side. Like you just mentioned, I got a job, but I'm doing something on the side here, and I'm doing something on the side there. That's ideal, because we are so taught to be so robotic. I got to punch in, I got to punch out, I got to punch back in, I got to punch out, I got to punch back in again, and I got to punch out, without saying we have the mindset, oh, you got to do for self, but you are constantly doing for other people. So I wanted to applaud you, because that's key, because a lot of people don't think that it's possible to have a 9-to-5 as well as have their own business. So I definitely love when you actually pointed that out.
You stirred up a whole lot of mess right now, brother. So as we prepare to close out, we have to let people know how to get in touch with you, because you know how many children I got in this house and what are their ages. Don't mind me. I'm just doing my math about what part of Carolina is that in? No, but really, how much
people,
room? Some people, number one, right? Listen, I want to call a roll on it, right? Some people just want to reach out for you because they want to buy a car from you because you a brother that owns a car dealership. Other people want to reach out for you because you inspired them, brother, and they want to learn some more of your business concepts and your business acumen. Other people, they got these little children running around here, dear brother, and they want to help firm up and institutionalize that great plan you had to take our young people from A to Z in business. So how do people contact Brother Dawood?
Oh, okay. So I'm at as far as my email address is I got so many of them. Which one do I guess we could do the Nissan DAWUD M at NissanofHendersonville.com, Dawood M at NissanofHendersonville.com, NissanofHendersonville.com, and I'm on IG at Dawood T Muhammad, and Facebook Dawood Talib Muhammad. So that's a lot of the contact information. And there was a point that I wanted to make too, Brother Lau, about something.
If you can make this closing point here, and Sis Kalita, do you need those things repeated so you can roll them across the screen, or we got them?
No. Okay. Okay. So the first one we have is Brother Dawood at Nissan.com.
Look.
Oh, look.
Yeah, it's
look.
right there. Hold on.
Father got our back.
Moving. That's what I'm talking about.
Father got our back.
Mm-hmm. Excellent. Okay, and so we'll keep that up, and the other ones that because we want people to be able to reach you after this. But go ahead and make that point, my dear brother.
Okay, so there was a point that I wanted to make about the job. When we're on the job, right? Sometimes when I called the brother one day, I was like, "Hey, what's going on, brother? How you doing?" I'm on the plantation. You're not on the plantation because you're getting paid.
Right.
We didn't get paid. When our people was on the plantation, they didn't get paid.
That part.
Right.
So you're not on the plantation. You're getting paid, brother. So that ideology has to be corrected, because when you see that job as the plantation,
what does that make
you? You're not doing what the Most High Elijah Muhammad taught us to do. That it's hard to do that in the mind frame of an honest day of work, for an honest day of pay.
Right.
It's very hard psychologically to give it all you got when your mentality is I'm on a plantation. And the only reason why you're saying that is because you're working for someone else.
Right.
But here's the deal. When you have an intention, when you go to work with an intention, your intention is connected to a bigger vision and a bigger contribution that you're going to make. So you have to strive for excellence in all that you do. That's what our teacher teaches us.
That's right.
The Honorable Nicholas Farrakhan, he says strive for excellence in all that you do. Okay, cool. So if I work for someone at a job, you better believe I'm gonna take so much pride and I'm gonna strive for excellence in that field, in that job, and I'm gonna be Muslim in that position. Because what are we supposed to do? The cream rises to the top. I'm the maker, the owner, the cream of the planet Earth, God of the universe. Okay, cool. Well, I'm gonna be the cream of wherever job I'm at. I'm gonna be the cream in that job and in that position.
Business ethics.
Because that's our teaching, and we gotta exhibit and we gotta exert that teaching in everything that we do, in every way that we can do it, in the subtleties, in the small things, and the things that might not seem that big, or the things that might not seem that is connected to the teachings, but it's proof that it's a universal teaching.
Right.
Because I was talking to Brother Dr. Wesley one day. He said, Brother Dawood, all things bear witness to the teachings of the Most Honorable Elijah Muhammad. All things bear witness to the teachings of the Most Honorable Elijah Muhammad. So when you look at it from that perspective, when you're in that job, go be great at it. But here's the other part. The fuel of you being great in that job is that ultimately you're doing it to fuel you being able to do for self. Go get what you're supposed to get from that job, and then go use it to go benefit you, your people, your family, your community, your nation, your minister,
right?
Your God, your Christ. Right. So I think that that's very, very, very important when we talking about business as warfare, when we talking about do for self. And I know we got to close. I got so much more to share, but
brother, we can bring you back, brother.
Part two.
We can definitely bring you back, but we do have to close. We do have to close, and we definitely will have to bring you back. But here's my last thoughts on. I'm gonna share this, family. We need a Brother Dawood and a business concept that does what he and his family are promoting in every region. Every region.
Yes, sir.
In every region. And brother, you are a prototype.
You are a
prototype that can answer a question that we have been asking in the nation for so long. Not what do we do with our young people, but how do we do it? And you've answered that question, my dear brother.
Right.
Family, if you get this message tonight, you have to listen to it again and again and again as you feed your own business idea. And of course, you have to share it and share it and share it. It was that powerful, family. I want to pause right there, family.
Brother Lyle, I tagged a brother earlier, Brother Demerit. He's here in Miami. He started up a company, a production company, after the 20th anniversary of the Million Man March.
I know my brother well.
He echoed on his Facebook page a while ago about something that Brother Dawood just mentioned. That when Brother Dawood said it, I had to tag my brother. You use your full-time job to fund your own business.
That's right.
Yes, sir.
That's really what's called stealing away.
Absolutely.
And I wish my brother well here in Miami. We got to build some unity, my brother. Brother Demerit, we're going to be building some unity. And of course, we're going to be talking about business. And Brother Dawood, we look forward to bringing you on for part 2, my brother. Sometime.
Thank you so much for the honor and the opportunity to share.
Thank you. And
Brother Dawood, it's so therapeutic.
Brother Dawood, before you go, Brother Lau, I just want the audience. We're all echoing it, and we're saying share it, like it is a lot of information. But Brother Dawood, what you're saying, what you've laid out, is very powerful for everybody. We are all in position where we're all either working some job or have some business idea or have some business aspiration, and we're not moving towards it with intention. So this is a good moment for us all, right? All that is listening, all that may be in the process, maybe you have been thinking about it or want to do it, but your story, your testimony, and I don't remember who said it, but there's success leaves clues. You just success leaves clues. So we just have to follow what's been laid out for success. And in your examples, you gave us your road to success. So this is our opportunity to see what we can do to position ourselves to have something of our own. Beautiful. As we are on the job. But I just wanted to say that for me as well. I've been trying to do my own thing for a while, right? But I haven't been focused enough or intentional enough to put it down. And it's just a reminder that that's what I need to do to make sure that if I want it, I got to be focused and disciplined to get it. So.
Wow. And Sister Kalila,
Wallah.
guess what brother gave us without even knowing it, Sister Kalila? He gave us something for the tree of the week.
Yes.
Ready? Go sell something.
Right.
Everybody. Look, everybody. Look, I don't want to hear it. No excuses.
Yes,
This
sir.
week, family, go sell something.
That's
Yes,
the
sir.
tree of the week. Go
That's
sell
the tree of the
something.
week.
Why was that?
And we'll be
I'm
back with
gonna go
it.
sell final calls tomorrow, Brother Lyle.
Hey, there you go, brother. Right? Because it builds character and it
Right.
builds business ethics and it builds that endurance for our brother to come through all of those storms, family. So, yeah, family tree of the week, go sell something.
Go sell something.
And speaking of sales, I am doing my official
Come on.
boutique online sales.
What?
Oh yes. Oh
Come
yes.
on now.
Oh, yes.
Official now. It's official.
Official boutique online sales tomorrow at 8:30 Eastern Standard Time and 7:30 Central Standard Time. If you go to my page, Just Flawless Boutique and Accessories,
Put it up
you
there,
will
somebody. Put it up there.
put it up there. So
Yo,
No, I'm getting it. Hold on. As she was talking, I was moving.
right.
Hold on.
I will
As I
actually
get it up.
I will actually be going live, and I just look. I wish I could show you my display. I mean, I'm literally in a Cracker Jack box because what I did, and this is therapeutic also, because sales, Brother Dawood, it's also therapeutic, right?
yes, ma'am.
And what I did is I took, because I was like, what do I like to do? First of all, I love fashion, right? I love fashion, right? So I can relate to when you said I had to go and get the latest stuff when I was in college, and I was, all the, I love fashion. But what I did like is I like fashion with a deal, right? So who doesn't want high-end fashion for a deal? So that's what I created. I created an atmosphere with fashion for a deal, but then I also added, because a lot of people don't like to fashion themselves. So we said, let us shop for you. So now what I do is I have fashion for a deal, and I will always, whatever you need for a special occasion, I will shop for you.
Praise
So
Look at
with
that.
that being said, stay tuned tomorrow. Follow my on Facebook. I will be live, Just Flawless Boutique and Accessories. I'll be selling a ton of stuff. You will have the opportunity to bid on the product, and once you get
Sister
the
Kalila got
opportunity,
a forest of the week. That's not a tree of the week. That's the forest of the week.
of course. But yes, and if with the permission, I will actually post it on our page as well, so you will get the
Please
opportunity.
Already did.
to-
Already
Please do. Look at
posted
that.
it.
All right.
Already
Now,
posted
family,
it.
y'all gonna get us in trouble if we don't close out.
Yes.
Okay, listen.
Going on 10
Okay,
o'clock,
listen.
man.
I know. We're gonna close it. Okay, so listen, everyone. Thank you for joining. Thanks, you, Brother Dawood, for joining your story, your
Outstanding.
expertise, everything. Excellent show that we had this evening. I'm your sister Michelle. I'm very thankful for everybody, but please make this impactful. Share it, like it. We are still on YouTube. If you don't feel like getting on Facebook, but we just want to make sure that everybody shares this out, because it's good information, and especially get with your youth, right? Your young people in college. I have people in college. I have my babies. Yes, they're my babies. They're still in college, but they can benefit from this. So just please like, share, and again, be with us next Thursday, right? We got a surprise coming up next Thursday. But either way, before I go to that, Sister Kalila,
Yes,
Tony.
brother.
Right.
Brother Daoud has something to
Can we
share.
close with some words from our Father real quick?
Come on.
Absolutely.
Oh, brother, who's going to say no to that, brother? But
Okay,
we
praise
do
be to
need to
Allah.
close.
So the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan says, self-development is an absolutely essential component of this microcosm of the new world. It is not enough that we grow horizontally through the acquisition of farms, factories, banks, industry, trade, commerce, money, good homes. Horizontal growth alone is death. All dead things are on a horizontal level. Therefore, we must grow vertically, grow in uprightness, or we will be overcome by our horizontal growth. The foundation of this ministry are study and training units designed on the guidance of Allah God to produce self-examination, self-analysis, self-correction, and to quicken in each of us the self-accusing spirit. For it is only when we are awakened morally that we have to face the self-accusing spirit that leads to our resurrection.
Praise
Praise
be
be
to
to
Allah.
Business
Praise be to Allah.
101. 101. Ain't nothing to say after that, family. What you trying to do here? I mean, that
I
was
have one thing to say, Brother La. One thing. I wanted to add to what was said earlier. Go sell something and support your own.
Praise be to
Because
Allah.
we cannot receive unless we first give.
Hey.
Oh, wait a minute. Before we go, Brother Lau, if you go sell something, let us know. Like next Thursday, or you can email us at 7th Region right at gmail.com. Coalition, sorry, 7th Region Coalition at gmail.com. But listen, you never know, there might be a surprise for somebody who's a top seller. I don't know. I'm just saying.
That's right. You might find a new business just by going and taking that instruction. So, family, take that advice. You know how it is. We're not a gang. We're not a clique. We're not a crew. You do know the 7th Region Coalition loves you, but we are, guess what, family? We are the 7th Region Coalition! 7th Region